I will show you my GPS course for my ill-fated North Carolina challenge, where we started from Cedar Island and I ended up bailing out at Beaufort. Let me show the story. So let me zoom in a little bit on the start. I'll turn on my GPS tracks. We launched right here and tacked up here towards this military restricted area where we weren't supposed to go on the shore, and I actually sailed by some signs here that said danger, keep out. It says bombing target area. Anyway, the wind was blowing up this way, so had to tack into the Neuse River. I kind of followed the kayak philosophy of going kind of point to point and staying relatively close to shore. Some of the sailors did like much longer and fewer tacks, but I just did a bunch of little ones. And this is the intercoastal waterway. This is going into Clubfoot Creek. And you can see the wind was coming straight up the creek here, so I had a tack going into it. You know, we'll just make them as long as the geometry here allowed. And we finally got to the point right down here where everybody was getting stuck in the mud. There's a ncc2017 who was right here before me. He got stuck. Then I got a little bit past him and explored a little bit, trying to work my way and try to find some water, but I couldn't find anything. And finally, I got stuck about here. ncc20's about here or so. And actually got out and drug it a little bit farther, trying to get ahead and just get down here to where the canal started. Because it might have been deep enough right over here, but just this area here was just so shallow. So I end up spending the night here along with everybody else on the ncc2017, but I was away from them and totally muddy by this time. So I just went into the marsh grasses right on the shore and just made a little indentation, a bed in there, and slept. And then the next morning, I decided to go ahead and go back to the intercoastal and try that way to get to Beaufort. Okay, on Saturday, I decided to take the intercoastal waterway, and my GPS doesn't show up right away, but it will later. You can see from the previous days tracing with all the tacking, but on the way back, it was downwind, and it picks it up here. And you can see how what a straight line the course is, and here's a beam wind, still pretty easy. But once I round the corner here, it was back into the wind. And now you can see the tacks that are necessary here. And it really got tough going right inside here with all the different tacks going down the intercoastal. It just, all these little tacks back and forth, back and forth. But finally out here, it when I got back into the Newport River, it had some open sailing room. But the problem out here was extremely rough seas, and the wind was just howling. And unbeknownst to me, my back third of my boat had filled with water. Water was coming in. I think it was through a missing bolt holding on the rudder contraption, and water was going through that open bolt hole. And I'll have to analyze that later to see if that was the cause. But anyway, I had water filling in the boat. The almas themselves had a lot of water in them, and I pretty much lost my ability to sail the boat. It was just so too heavy that all the sailing performance was just shot. And I was desperately trying to get far enough upwind up here so I could make the cut into Beaufort here, and finally just kind of had to bring it to shore and just kind of actually walked it around here. And I pumped out the boat the best I could, but it was refilling. And I just paddled back into Beaufort here against the wind. Once around the corner here, then it was easy. And I went into the checkpoint here, and then I just pretty much just kind of drifted or coasted right back down with the current to my father-in-law's dock, and just went ahead and pulled the towel at this point, since I didn't really understand what was going on with my boat filling with water. About 2 miles before Clubfoot Creek. Taking a little break. There's one Watertribe out there. He just passed me because I stopped. He didn't. So getting back in now.